Good evening. Know that I'm probably gonna cough my ass off in a second. Just taking care of a little bit of final paperwork before I started the show. It's good to be back home. Thank you for coming. Wow. So we were bandited, for those that may be wondering where the hell is the Watchman news for the last week. We were suspended because I uploaded a video that was Steve Bannon's War Room, and Steve Bannon is a naughty boy according to YouTube, and because I shared a naughty boy's content on YouTube, they made me a semi naughty boy. They didn't, unpeople me from the platform. But they made me take 7 days to think about my bad deeds, and I slapped my hand a few times, bitched myself out a little bit, and I think I'm reformed and I'm ready to get back in the seat here. And we were for a week just on the backup channel, which many of you probably don't know about. And the reason why is because down in the description of the video, I have all these links for everything except for the backup YouTube channel. So that's my fault. I need to fix that in the links down in the description. That way you guys know where to go. We'll just say when it happens again. I'm comfortable in saying when it happens again. That way you'll know where you can find us for that week or longer. So anyway, yeah, they got a tad bit pissed off about that, and it's kind of really telling, considering the video in particular was a very uplifting, powerful video, and it talked about people uniting and how people from all different walks of life were welcome, to join this convoy, the People's Convoy. And it just seems so ironic that they will do everything they can to keep us from being united. So anyway, wow. I was kind of disappointed, to be real honest, in the overpasses that we have here. I'm not gonna lie, I was highly disappointed. I really did expect a decent turnout from our particular town, and it just didn't really. I mean, we had people there on the overpasses. I'm not saying there weren't, but we supposedly have a pretty strong conservative town here, and the convoy is not political. However, I could see how one could, easily assume that it does lean quite a bit more to the right. And it just does by nature. It's not done that way by cause. It's just done by nature. You don't see, well, I can't say you don't see people on the right that believe in totalitarian control, because you absolutely do. That's part of the problem. But not the same way that you see it on the left. And, so I think a lot of people think when they see this convoy and they hear words like, oh, freedom, for instance, they automatically, that's some Republican, crazy person or something like that, because they're talking about freedom and stuff. But, and it's the most crazy arguments that I have seen in the last couple of days on social media. I had brought up this convoy on our local page because, well, they drove right through here. And so I thought, well, people might want to show their support. People might want to know what's going on. And it had received mostly positive remarks, but there have been a couple of people that have been against it, but they don't really levy any argument, not anything substantial. All they can do is name call, demean, condemn, that they really can't formulate any viable reason to be against these individuals and their mission. And for the most part, they don't even know what the mission is. You know, they keep telling you what the mission is, but when you try to tell them what the mission is, because it's stated right on their own website, they keep deflecting it to something else, you know? And it's simple, right? And a lot of people think, oh, it's to end mandates. No, it's not to end mandates. In effect, yes. But what they want is an end to the COVID-19 emergency order, okay? And it's all, right? They make it easy. They make it so easy, right? You can just go to thepeoplesconvoy.org, thepeoplesconvoy.org, and you scroll right down. I mean, it's right on the homepage, right here. It's time to end the declaration of national emergency concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. And you notice there's a little hand there. Why? Because that's a link. And if I click that, it takes me to the .gov page where it shows this emergency COVID-19 declaration, okay, which was extended. Okay, when was it extended? I know it was extended. Beyond March 1st, 2021. So it says, for this reason, the national emergency declared on March 13, 2020, and beginning March 1st, 2020, must continue in effect beyond March 1st, 2021. Therefore, in accordance, yada, 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 yada. But you see, extend beyond. There is no end date. There's nothing. There is no end date on there. That is what these men are trying to get stopped. Okay? Because this allows the federal government to do all kinds of things that they have no business in having the power to do. And they're having a heyday right now why they can do those things. That is what they want to put an end to. And you can't even get that across to a lot of these people that are against this, because I think some of them, I think, purposely don't want to get it. And I don't understand exactly what their motivation is, but I know one thing. We can't spend all our time being a stupid whisperer. We have to move on, and we have to help those that we can. We have to help those that want help. We have to help those that want direction. So, there is that. But some of it's just ridiculous what people have to say. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot to say tonight. Last night on the backup channel, I played when they shut down at night, they often a bunch of people that get up and they speak. And last night on the backup channel, I had did the live show just like I normally do, and I had played last night's little talks from everybody, and I'm not going to play everybody's tonight, but there is one young man that I do want you to listen to, because I don't know, I get such a warmth in my heart to hear this young man who speaks in some type of heavy dialect. I don't want to say what. I don't know exactly what language it is that I'm hearing, which accent I should say. But here's a young man that you could tell even has to kind of find the right words to speak, that understands more about what it means to be an American than a whole hell of a lot of people I've seen. And I'll tell you what, this guy, he is impressive with his understanding of the American way, and his passion is just off the charts. I didn't catch his name, but give this guy a listen.
Hello. Hi. My name is Tuan, when they ask me if I've been vaccinated, I always want to say that I got the polio shot when I was 5 years old. And I also understand that COVID originated from bats, and that rabies originates from bats. So I rabies shot. I was born in California. We moved to Georgia to become chicken farmers. I have a computer science degree, and now I'm here. I came to Oklahoma to visit some friends. I was only planning on staying here about 4 hours with the convoy, then heading back. And then I realized, oh, I guess I'm going to be here longer for 2 weeks now when you pass by these overpasses. Oh, and the other fun thing about me is, or interesting fact, is I love history, like World War II. One story, so hearing about these flags and about your grandparents is so moving to me. One story that is so incredible to me that I remember, that reminds me of, is it was in a concentration camp in Auschwitz. The guards had picked 10 prisoners to be starved to death. The other prisoners watching, there was one by the name of Max. He steps forward and talks to the guard and says, I want to take one of these men's place because he has a family. Despite all the suffering in Auschwitz, this man Max found the courage and found the fortitude to suffer even more. And they starved him to death. Right now in America, we're all suffering so much. Truckers and nurses, teachers, we're losing our jobs. And it's so moving in this movement, because here, whether we are driving in the convoy, whether we are baking cinnamon rolls this morning, whether we're crowding the bridges, we've all decided in some way to take one step forward. And we don't really need to know what we're going to be doing in DC. We just need to take the first step. We don't have to have degrees. We don't have to be the smartest. We don't have to be the strongest. We just have to take that first step. Part of being American is that even if the odds are against us, we're gonna outwork them. Do not let them not fulfill the mediocre expectations they have for us. They ask us to be inclusive. We seek to be intentional with our relationships. They ask for diversity. We seek to build community. We will take this righteous anger and transform it into generosity, into patience, into charity, first towards ourselves, then to our neighbors, and ultimately towards them. This is how we will succeed, because our freedom comes first from knowing the love that God has for us and how that sets us free to be our authentic self. And this movement is more about sharing that freedom of His love with everyone else. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking this first step with me and allowing me to take it with you.
I don't know. I thought that was incredible. I thought he did a wonderful job standing up there and basically describing what it is, what it should be like anyway to be an American. And I think that has largely been lost through the last couple of generations. And I think it's not by accident. I think it was a direct result of social engineering. In fact, I think they worked very hard at getting it that way. They do so many things to try to control our thoughts, our not just our actions, but even our reactions. I think they do more to control our reactions than what they do our actions, our direct actions. Because that is how they control us, is through emotion. And once you have somebody's emotions in the palm of your hand, all you have to do is act, and you can get them to react. So you just act in whichever way you need them to react, and you've got it. And that's what they do. That's true no matter what. That's true whether you're looking at a political candidate or whether you're looking at a used car, and the salesman is telling you how he likes your shoes or your jeans or whatever, right? They are trying to emotionally manipulate you so that they can steer you in a direction. And yes, I mean that. I'm not saying that jokingly in any way. It goes anywhere from a politician all the way to a used car salesman. It doesn't matter. One thing that should always raise alarm bells in somebody's mind, and it's a little bit off topic here, but flattery. If somebody flatters you, you need to be looking for motivation. And if there's any way they can personally benefit from your situation with them, beware of the flattery. People will use it to control you. But they use just about every other type of method to control you as well, even the opposite. They will do things to make you angry just to seek the reaction from you being angry. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. I'm telling you, I don't know, just like that young man, I don't know where this leads. I don't know where this convoy is going to end up. And I don't just mean that physically, I mean that in every sense. I have a feeling that all in all, it's not going to achieve much. And I'm not saying that to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I'm saying that because I'm a realist. And while this convoy gives me an incredible amount of hope, the only way it is going to be successful is if we, the people, back them up. That is the only way. It is going to take we, the people, not just them, the truckers, or those in the convoy. It's going to take we, the people. We have to understand that these men and women that are in this convoy that are heading towards D.C. right now, they are just the start. We are the finish. They are just the start. And if we don't understand that now and prepare for that reality now, then we can't expect anything that these truckers and all the wonderful people that are following, we can't expect anything that they're doing to be successful. And it's not being a Debbie Downer, it's being a realist. They have to have our backing, and we have to see them through. Right now, what those truckers in Canada need, more than anything, is an even larger crowd in Ottawa demanding the release of the political prisoners. Bringing their tents, bringing whatever it is they need to do to stake out a spot there to live. And they just need to keep piling in people and more people and more people, because that is what it takes. Canada came a long way, and they did a hell of a job at starting lighting a spark, a flame in the world. But the Canadian citizens need to pick up that torch and take it the rest of the way home. American citizens need to listen up and be ready to grab their torch to carry it, because our turn's coming. real short like. Whether or not the U.S. convoy succeeds or fails 100% depends on what we do. What we, the people, those of us that aren't in the convoy, we have to back them. Anyway, other than that, because there's a whole world of things out there, as you know, the situation with Ukraine, I'll say Russia, does not look good. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go out and buy your Geiger counters and your iodide tablets and, get ready to run around the house screaming. I think that if there were to be a nuclear exchange, I honestly think that it would be with tactical nuclear weapons, and I think that it would be limited to military installations. I do believe that Russia would not target any civilians in a strike if we didn't do so. If we targeted their civilians, then, game on. But I don't believe that they would. And they have tactical nuclear weapons now that they can dial in and pretty much control the level of destruction that device can do. And so because they've got so many different weapons at their disposal to use, I've said it before, using nuclear missiles is kind of like, throwing rocks at each other at this point with all the different technology. So, here's the truth of the matter. Speaking of those weapons, I could see them actually using a tactical nuclear weapon in advance of using a more serious weapon. And saying, now look, more or less as a posture of, now look, we're serious. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I can't tell you it's not going to happen. I have a feeling at some point there will be some type of limited exchange. I don't know if we're right on the cusp of that or not, but I can tell you that things do look sketchy. We are literally in, and I said it last night as well, we are literally in the same spot as which we were during the Cuban Missile Crisis. That is where our countries, both of our countries, are at this moment in time. Do I think it's the exact same situation, so to speak? No, I don't. I think times are much, much different. I think that's not the Soviet Union. And, I don't think that things are as concerning right now as what they were during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The only other time we had been, I think, in between that we had been at this level was 9/11. And that was for obvious reasons. So, it's a significant threat that we're facing right now. So just what do I hear? I don't know what I hear. I keep hearing something. I can't tell if it's a dog barking out the window or what it is. I think it's coming from outside. Speaking of that, yeah, it just made a noise. Is that a dog barking? Oh. Anyway, got the windows open, which is like awesome. That's like the best thing ever, is being able to open the windows for the first time. So it's currently 54 degrees where we're at, but I still got the windows open. It's definitely not cool in here, and I've got all the heat off and everything, so it might wind up getting left off tonight. We'll see. So anyway, what was I even saying or going with anything? I don't know. I'm old. I'm feeble. Show me to my bed and give me my medicine. And no, I'm kidding. But I do want you to get off my lawn. I'm kidding. Is somebody yelling? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. And we have to replace one of our cameras, so that's going to be an $80 purchase. That's what that costs for that particular one. But yeah, it just died on me, I guess today. It was working fine last night. So the camera works, but the when it goes to switch over to nighttime, the infrared lights come on and it changes modes, turns to black and white on the camera. That's not functioning. That's not working. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Trying to think there's anything else. Just as I was saying, is make sure you go through. I just did it the other day. I ran through our radios, our Baofeng radios. I just ran through them, make sure all of our batteries were charged up, good to go on the radios. Made sure the radios were all set, the right channels, all that, good to go. Everything's good to go with the radio equipment. Of course, flashlights, they're all good to go, topped up, stuff like that. Just make sure you do that stuff. Go through, make sure everything's good to go, charged up, and ready. Because anything can happen anytime, and it's not just about, some big massive nuclear exchange and the whole world exploding, but it can also be a cyber attack and just the power being cut out. Anything of the sort we could expect right now, and I would heavily suggest that people are ready. And make sure that, in fact, I normally, I've got a headlamp, and I normally have it in the closet. I've got like a little thing stuck in the top of the shelf, and I just kind of hang it in there. And, I mean, I could close my eyes. I could close my eyes from sitting right here and get that light from where it was. That was the intent, that I could find it easily and get it. I had even moved that headlamp from that spot, which was fine. There was nothing wrong with that. And just put it on the handle of the door, on the outside of the door. That way I can just grab it, put it on, and even use it to be able to see the handle itself. And I know that might sound goofy to you, but that was just one more little thing that I saw that I thought, you know what, that would be a little more handy if it was on the handle of the door, the knob of the door. That would be the best, most handy spot for it to be. And so, even little things like that. Let's go through, look around, see any gaps you need to fill or anything like that. Again, I can't promise you anything major is going to happen. I certainly hope nothing major happens. But this is what we do, and this is what we prep for, and this is the reality of the situation. I talked earlier about being a realist. Well, I'm a realist, and in the real world, we can be up shit creek in a hurry if we lose things like the internet or the electricity, stuff like that. We could really be put in a bad spot quick. So that's why it's important to be ready, and always be ready. But right now, I think I would be at a little bit more of a readiness level than normal. So, anyway, I think I'm going to run through the headlines, be done with today, and get the heck out of here. I did upload a video earlier for those that may not have seen it, and it was just one town over from us. We're in Highland. One town over from us in Pocahontas, Illinois. A helicopter apparently joined up with a convoy. And I had posted a video that one of the truckers recorded of that helicopter. And I don't know for sure how far that helicopter was planning on going with them. I know that I saw somebody make the comment that they were going to go to D.C., so I don't know if that's true or if it's not, or what the deal is. But that was pretty cool to see a helicopter with a huge American flag hanging from from under it, and that was kind of cool to see. I bet Josh, and I can't remember the name of his pilots association that he's with, but he's one of the organizers for the convoy. I bet he loved to see that. So I bet he loved that. So anyway, it was kind of cool. It was, oh wow, you guys don't see nothing up there. Why? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I hit that button, folks. Sorry about that. I looked up and I saw nothing but a black screen up there. I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't right. Sorry about that. Probably a black screen looks better than I do anyway, but anyway, it's kind of more boring too. Anyway, I reckon I'll just do headlines. I really can't think of anything else. It was just one of those days. I watched Convoy as I could. Tried to keep up on news as I could. Tried to keep up on the groups as I could. The Highland group that I started, because yeah, things got a little heated in there. So it is what it is, though. But anyway, let me have a sip if I've got a sip. Some coffee and some nicotine. Keep it up, I'll take a hit. Which song? Oh, that's not Oreo Express that does that. That's Today with Julius. Today with Julius that does that. And I don't remember the name of the song. Yeah, all together. Today with Julius. Yep. Well, that's why you should have put it all together. I'm making sure she finds it. There he is. And click on videos. And you might have to scroll a bit to find it. That's it, ain't it? On the right? Okay. Sorry. I was navigating, she was driving. So anyway, yeah, I can't think of anything more. I'll just get the headlines out of the way and get out of here. I didn't know when for sure I was going to get the channel back. So I was going to try to restream as they drove past here, but it wasn't anything. I'm going to be real honest. It just wasn't anything remarkable. Highland did not make a good showing. I will shout out Effingham, however. Effingham, not far away. An incredible showing at Effingham. That was incredible. So, and there were several overpasses throughout Illinois, regardless of the state's nonsense. Which, if you're unaware of that, the state of Illinois state police put out a statement more or less trying to fearmonger about the convoy. Only state, at least so far, to put out anything like that and to even act that way towards them. Every other state's been kind and very welcoming, very, what's the word? Just trying to be helpful any way they can. And there's a picture here that I'm going to restore back to the desktop so I can pop up and show you. And so, they get out of they get out of Illinois, right? And to my knowledge, there were no issues as far as them getting stopped or harassed or anything like that in Illinois. But you can tell when they got out of Illinois because the moment they got past Illinois, pictures like this emerged. And so, a much different attitude just across the Indiana line. And hopefully they'll get treated much better from Indiana as far as the, government is concerned. There's a lot of people in Illinois that support the convoy. A lot of people that showed up at overpasses to show that support. And, it's just we got a big doofus for a governor. And just the way it is. So anyway, thought I would show you guys that. And we'll hop on over to headlines. I am going to grab a couple more vapes, though. Oh, I think my batteries are on their last leg. I ordered batteries, but due to a non-existent weather delay, they got delayed a day. So I had to because I've got 3 sets of batteries that I rotate through. None of them are any newer than about 3 years old. So my newest batteries are 3 years old, and the batteries that are older than that, I honestly couldn't tell you. They're probably about 5 years old. I am shocked that they even work. So, anyway. One thing I do is I run these things into the ground. Alright. I think I'm ready now. I think I got just about enough, or just about as little blood in my nicotine system as I need. So, I think I worded that correctly. Alright. Disney, Warner Brothers, and Sony halt movie releases in Russia. It's crazy the stuff they're doing to Russia. And I don't know how to feel about any of it. I know that a lot of people might think, oh, you should feel this way, you should feel that way. There's a whole hell of a lot of details that I don't know. And one detail that I do know is that we had a puppet government installed there. And that speaks for a whole lot. So I can't tell you. I'm not Ukrainian. I can't tell you what it's like to live in Ukraine. I can't tell you the difference of what it's like to live in Ukraine versus living in Russia, because I've never lived in either place. And, I'm telling you, I'm not finding either place real appealing at this moment. Anyway, Ukrainian forces kill Israeli man. Netflix refuses to carry Russian TV channels. And by the way, if you can't tell, every frickin' time I share a link from RT, they have this warning here now. This is stay informed. This tweet links to a Russia state-affiliated media website. Find out more. Okay, how is it that you want to brainwash me? Just kind of mind screw me right now. Just let me know. No, that's essentially what they're doing. You all know by now that I rely heavily on RT's news because they're as accurate as I can find. It's, I'm not saying that they don't have propaganda. Of course they have propaganda. But the U.S. news, they're not even covering what's important, no less telling the truth about what's important. RT gets it right a lot of the times, and I do what I can to kind of keep the propaganda out of the way, and sometimes I'll include the propaganda just so we know what the hell it is they're propagandizing. So, Ukraine says NATO countries will supply warplanes. Okay, where do I sign up for one? I would like an F-22, please. F-22, make it snappy, and I want it in that stealth black. You know, maybe a couple racing stripes. And definitely, I definitely want a raccoon tail hanging off of one of the antennas for the plane. It's got to have a raccoon tail. Fuzzy dice hanging down from the HUD display. You know, got to make it right. Oh, the dingle balls. Got to have dingle balls on the sides of the canopy. Definitely with the dingle balls. And my bong holder right to my right-hand side. Anyway, continuing on. European Mars rover launch. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. European Mars rover launch. I guess I'm happy to see you. Unlikely this year due to Ukraine conflict. Let's see. Russia strikes back at Switzerland's airspace closure. MasterCard and Visa to limit Russia operations. Missile damages government building in Ukraine's second largest city. ICC to investigate possible war crimes in Ukraine. DPR militia announces evacuation routes from nearly encircled Ukrainian city. YouTube blocks RT and Sputnik channels in Europe. UK sanctions Russia's biggest bank. Kadyrov confirms Chechen casualties in Ukraine. Russia blocks foreign investments from leaving the country. OSCE observers are leaving, DPR says. Iran's supreme leader weighs in on root cause of Ukraine crisis. France threatens to cause the collapse of Russian economy. Let's see. Nord Stream 2 forced to lay off staff and may file for bankruptcy. Belarus will not join Russian operation, says Lukashenko. Maersk, and I don't know how it's supposed to be said, Maersk, to stop deliveries to Russia. That's actually a pretty big deal. Thousands of Russian tourists stranded after flight bans. Shell total quit of Russian ventures. That would be like Shell Oil Company. Poland and Bulgaria deny warplane supply to Ukraine. Ukraine wants its foreign debt written off. That would be nice, right? Ukraine wants UN disarmament meeting over Russian offensive. Kremlin comments on targets hit during Ukraine offensive. Different opinions on Ukraine's accession, says EU president. Baltic pipe construction resumed after Nord Stream 2 shut down. EU will be stronger with Ukraine, president claims. EU accuses Russia of geopolitical terrorism. EU welcomes Ukrainian bid. Russia reveals its stance on nuclear non-proliferation. I don't know why. That word's hard for me to say. Russia expresses nuclear fears. UK bars Russian ships from its ports. Ukraine recalls ambassadors. Sounds like a really bad tribute band for the Doors. The Ambassadors. Georgia calls out Ukraine's unacceptable move. Belarus hails Russia-Ukraine negotiations. Venezuela's Maduro gives his take on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Because we all gotta know. Boris Johnson says Russian attack on Kharkov reminiscent of Sarajevo. I think it's Sarajevo, something like that. Sarajevo. Sale of alcohol banned in Kiev, says the mayor. No getting drunk. NATO says no need to boost nuke alert. Hey, you know they tried that in a country before, banning alcohol. It didn't work out so well. China suggests how Russia and Ukraine can make peace. Kiev mulls preemptive attack on Belarus. Active shooter alert at U.S. nuclear waste site. Pentagon confirms U.S. position on Ukraine no-fly zone. EU Parliament condemns Russia and commits to NATO. Mexico declines to join Russia sanctions. Biden talks to Zelensky ahead of big speech. Hillary Clinton compares Ukraine to Afghanistan. Well, that's okay because I compare you to Stalin. A Russian media watchdog warns Wikipedia over Ukraine invasion entry. Apple stops sales in Russia and censors RT. Russia to host first international anti-fascist congress. U.S. envoy sends World United warning to Russia, China, and Iran. A superintendent charged after students allegedly ordered to take off their clothes during vape search in Wisconsin. Yeah, I guess they suspected or wanted to suspect a child of vaping in school, so they ordered a strip search at the school over an e-cig. You know, and I'm not promoting the use of e-cig from a minor, but I really can't promote strip searching an entire group of innocent people to catch one. They ought to go after her for some type of pedophilia charges. They seriously, they ought to. China reacts to idea of Japan hosting U.S. nukes. Austria shuts down subsidiary of Russia's biggest bank. And that's it. Fun times. Let's see. What's over there? Hang on. Looking at the official Telegram thingy and seeing if there's anything important to pass on. Convoy update. We are 33 miles. Oh, that's another convoy. 33 miles from Spokane. Convoy is at least 75 vehicles long. That's a convoy that's going on in Washington State. So there's several of them. There's multiple convoys going on. There's another leg of the People's Convoy that leaves out tomorrow in the Northeast and will start traveling south. And then there are other convoys that are either going to link up with the People's Convoy as they are en route, or that plan to be there at some point in time. So maybe a little bit different timing than what the People's Convoy is going to be there. The People's Convoy, and I want to make sure I say this and make it very clear, they are not, and I repeat, they are not in any way intending to, I just had to look, the camera got moved, and I don't know why it moved. The People's Convoy do not intend to go into D.C. They are just going to go near D.C., but not in D.C. So I don't know what their plans are. I don't know what they have up their sleeve. I guess they'll let us know. But, this is the closest thing we can get right now to gaining our freedoms back. And I suggest that we all pony up behind them and give them the support they need and help them see this through. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. And we'll do it all again. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.